All right, everyone, I normally don't do off-camera videos, but I had some non-YouTube related stuff pop up today that makes this the easier option. We will be back to business as usual tomorrow. However, we have to discuss a massive news story that hit the internet. You're probably seeing it circulating all around. It is that we potentially now know the Nintendo Direct June date. And we have to break down all the details, including where this leak comes from, how credible is it, and do we now for sure know that the June Direct will indeed be happening next week? So let's hop into it right now. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. As I mentioned, guys, we got a massive story to unpack today. It has to do with the topic that all of us Nintendo fans have been waiting for, some kind of official announcement from Nintendo themselves this entire time. That is, when can we expect the heavily rumored June Nintendo Direct, as we know that Nintendo historically aligns with E3. E3 is canceled this year, causing all of the hype and speculation to essentially spin out of control, with people not knowing to for sure expect a Direct, but they should do a Direct because Nintendo normally does, right? So that E3 shouldn't affect them, right? Well, the reason it's in the news today and being talked about and discussed online heavily is there's actually been a content creator that decided to make what I would consider a very ridiculous decision to actually leak out an email from a developer that this email has been verified. So this is not just some fluff story that actually maybe it was doctored and it's somebody trying to get an extra clout. We don't know who this person is who actually leaked this information out, but he has a Reddit account. Apparently he's a content creator, and he showed a screenshot of one of the business emails that has since been verified that it was from the developing studio of this game. So this is about as concrete of information as we can get. Although before we do read through all this, I do want to put the asterisks out there that just because this game that was previously featured at a prior Direct and is now expected to be shadow dropped at the current Direct, which is leading us to believe what the date might be for Nintendo's presentation, this could be a standalone shadow drop and something that's just an announcement from the company totally separate from a Nintendo Direct presentation. However, this person goes on to say that due to other NDAs that they have signed, that they believe that the Direct is for sure taking place next week, which is also a very silly statement to say because I don't think this person's going to have any more future in content recreation, unfortunately for them, whenever they go out there and say stuff like that. But besides all that, it's also just the most likely time window that we would see Nintendo go live with the Direct, right? So it's like the chances of a game dropping and then we have Nintendo backing up and having embargoes lifted right around the same exact time, the same week, maybe even the same day that we were expecting a Nintendo Direct to happen anyway, most likely. Well, this is definitely heavy evidence that indeed we can expect the Direct next week. Now, to quickly go through all of the details of what's been said here, because the Reddit post that this user originally put up has been since taken down. However, the internet is the internet, meaning that once you post something, it is there forever. Word to the wise, kids. You hit that publish button and it is never going away once it's actually out there on the internet. So we have the full Reddit post to read through here and all of the edits to it as well. So let's start from the top. Hello, I received an email from a developer recently. I'm a content creator, asking if I was interested in a code for a game that launches next week on Switch, which I personally wasn't, but the game will be exciting for some action fans. Usually when this happens, the publisher will ask me to sign an NDA before sharing any info at all, including even what the game is. Oddly enough, they did not do that this time or ask me not to share this information at all, so it's fair game. That said, out of the respect for their surprise, I will not say what game or developer it is. With that out of the way, the game is scheduled to drop on Switch next Wednesday, with the embargo for coverage also being on Wednesday, June 15th. It's going to be one of the shadow drops during the Nintendo Direct. Since the embargo is set for 9 a.m. Pacific time, I presume that the Nintendo Direct will happen at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Wednesday, June 15th. As a side note, this lines up with what some other developers that I did sign NDAs for sent me. Hyped to watch it with you guys next week. Now, one of the things about our gaming leaks and rumors is they have a tight-knit community of mods that do require additional information for these things to even be published and go live. So the creator actually had to verify an email, which a moderator said, your post will not be approved unless you can provide us proof in the mod mail. Edit, we can confirm that OP has an email asking to hold any gameplay review until June 15th and livestream/gameplay footage until June 16th. This does not confirm a Direct, but it is worth having the post up for. Now, it would have ended there, but they did edit their post later and said the following: screw it, I'm bored tonight, so here's an edited screenshot. Sorry, only the mods will know what the game is. Now, the issue with how this person went on to post that screenshot is that they used a very poor technique in how you would black out text, and all you have to do is adjust the contrast to actually see what the text that is blacked out is. And we do now know that the game in reference is Neon White, which is an action shooter card game of some sort. I'm not entirely familiar with it. It was featured at a previous direct, and it will be apparently set to drop on June 15th. And you do have to take all of the statements at face value from this person, that yes, they have signed other NDAs that line up with that same date, so they in their mind have this direct confirmed. And while there's a chance that this is an elaborate hoax, it's also less likely that that's the case, considering that one, if you just look at logic, it's probably the week that the direct was going to happen anyway, and then two, also this has to be a content creator that's established enough that they are getting things like offers for early access to unannounced games, and that doesn't go out to people with just the smallest audience out there. And so I definitely think that when they say they have other NDAs that they've signed, which is the most ridiculous thing to ever say out loud, I do tend to think that that's probably a legitimate scenario, and this person does know that there will be multiple other games dropping on June 15th as well, leading us to believe that yes, indeed, June 15th, 9 a.m. Pacific time is likely the time that Nintendo will air their Nintendo Direct event. So obviously nothing's confirmed until Nintendo confirms it, but this is definitely the most solid information we've got that does indeed point to Nintendo putting on their expected Direct presentation. But I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video, your personal thoughts around all of this information that's been put out there now. Do you think that yes, indeed, Wednesday, June 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific time will indeed be the time for the Direct, and that this leak confirms it? Or do you think there's something interesting going on here that we don't know about, that maybe is not really just as simple as that, and we won't be getting the Direct next week? And definitely share with me what games you're most hyped to see featured at that event, and whether they're announced or unannounced, what games you hope we see featured there the most. So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around this topic. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, where we discuss E3 being all but confirmed for a big return in 2023, and a discussion with a surprise first-party Nintendo game that has been leaked but also is in a very interesting release date right now. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.